Fiona and International Vibration. The track is called I'm in Love. I'm in Love with You. We promised you that we're going to give you the musical ambassador from out of Florida. His name is Mr. Trevor Elliott. We're not going to keep him holding too much longer. Mr. Trevor Elliott is on the phone. Good evening to you, sir, as we play one of your songs in the background. This is Mr. Jerry Johnson. The track is called Only Jah. Good evening to you, Trevor.
Good evening, Mr. Oliver Millwood of International Vibration, sir. The pleasure is mine to be your special guest tonight. You rock the city every Sunday night, so it's my turn to tell my story, you know?
All right, sounds good, and we're going to give you a chance to tell your story. So let's tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you're the musical ambassador. You're from out of North Florida, from out of the Gainesville area. At least that's where you're based now. So tell us a little bit about Trevor Elliott.
Well, Trevor Elliott started this magical musical journey in 1979 when I got a cut of a rhythm from my dear friend, the late, great Sugar Magnate. Got a cut of the old Storm rhythm. I'd written a song called This Society. Got a youth out of Barbican named General Plow, and did a little thing and added some little percussion because I got a straight mix of the rhythm. Poor me back in those days. Never realized that you have to get a rhythm that is untied. You would know that what that means in the business. And that's how I started. I worked at the Jamaica Connection at the time when I was at GIS, and I was the co-producer of the program responsible for getting the music. So I would go all the way down to the bottom of Orange Street on any given Thursday and see Mrs. Pottinger and drive my way all the way up Beat Street, otherwise known as Orange Street, up to Sonic Sounds and Dynamic Sounds, and pick up record for the program. Got the bug, you know. I've always loved music because my mom was a big Nat King Cole and Brooke Benton fan, so I grew up listening to all those music. Went to school on Brentford Road, and that's not too far from the University of Reggae Music, otherwise called Studio One. So that's the way I got started, and took a little break in the 80s when I migrated from Jamaica for good, and learned the business inside out, learned the business aspect of the reggae music business, and got my own publishing company, and set up shop and came back really, really strong.
All right, sounds good. So listen, you told us about this song. This was your first song, This Society?
By General Plow, yes, sir.
Listen to this.
Oh, yes, my brothers and sisters. This is a message unto you all. Oh, Lord, tell me what is going on in this society. Tell me what is happening to our society. Take a little walk down the road, and what do I see? Just pure poverty, oh Lord. Just pure poverty, oh Lord. Take a little stroll all over town. And what do I see? Oh Lord. Just brutality, oh Lord. Just insanity, oh Lord. Now is it because of the pressures of life? But there is so much strife for me in my walk. From day to day, it's just a struggle to survive. The bills to be paid and the kids to be fed. Oh yeah.
The sound of General Plow, the first song for Mr. Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador. So, Trevor, tell us a little bit more about you. Where'd you go from there? So, from General Plow, what'd you do?
Well, I got a cut of the quarter pounder Haitian's rhythm from a good friend, Enos Musa McLeod. And I called Plow into action again, and we did a song called Backbiter. Don't know what to say, Backbiter wouldn't do. Try to do right, Backbiter fight you. And that was my first grassroots hit, you know what I mean? Now, after that, now I hooked up with the great Bongo Herman from Radix, and we made some arrangements with Flower Hole, who was the leader of the group. They were only the hottest backing band back in the 80s. So we ran a session at Channel 1. And out of that session came You on a Penitentiary, African Queen, Mr. Bandolo, and the boom, Check for Your Ones.
Speaking of that, that was Mr. Eddie Fitzroy with the Roots Radic, right? So you're saying that
Eddie Fitzroy with the Roots Radic also laid down a song called Africa is Calling with Harry Martin, Cheer Up Sharon with Bobby Melody, and that was the first session I ran. Enough hot Guineas I run, and the musician played out their heart, because as a fledgling producer, I got the respect of the musicians that night. And, you know, me is a humble guy and not all that, and that was the beginning of the beginning, so to speak.
So this is the one that really set it big for Mr. Trevor Elliott. This is Eddie Fitzroy. Listen.
I check for you once, little girl. I check for you twice, little girl. It seems like you never stays at home, girl. I check you at your home late last night. I thinking everything would be alright. When I didn't see you, I feel uptight, girl. I check for you once, little girl. I check for you twice, little girl. It seems like you never stays at home, girl. Whoa, girl. Come on with me tonight.
The voice of Mr. Eddie Fitzroy, produced by the man known as Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador from out of Florida. He's the guest tonight at International Vibration. So, Trevor, so we did that big session with Roots Radics and all those amazing artists, and that big hit came out of that session along with others. So where'd you go from there?
Well, obviously, I ran another session to finish up Eddie's debut album, Check for Your Ones, and to say that catapulted us to international fame and recognition is a major understatement. Okay, so I started out on Eddie's second album, Coming Up Strong, and I left Jamaica for good in 1984 with the album half done. Sifo from Jimmy Cliff's group finished up the album, and I came to the States, and you can't come to a foreign country and say you're a big-time producer and no money not run. So, I had to get a job and, support my wife at the time and my two sons, Took a break, the rest of the 80s, just kind of gravitate myself to, assimilate myself to the society and, keep working, and moved to Florida, in 85, and settled down in South Florida, and met my beautiful wife. She was at the University of Miami, and we moved to Gainesville in 1990. And apart from a little sojourn up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we've been here ever since, raising 3 beautiful kids, and they are all doing well. About 2003, I reissued the Check for Your Ones album, plus The Gun, Have You Ever, and a couple more tracks, and I call that one First Class Citizen with Eddie Fitzroy. Now, got the bug again and started moving and getting my catalog together, and then I released the Best of Eddie Fitzroy, the musical ambassador years, which was basically the Check for Your Ones album plus the 5 tracks that I had started out the First Class, the Coming Up Strong album with. And from then on, I've been, doing some stuff with the London Connection, Bonnie Lila, Bucky Joe, Tenor Star, Queen of the Empress, and, that's where I'm at now with, introducing a young lady out of Spanish Town by the name of Lisa J. I have a track with Twiggy. So, the avenue has been opened up. I'm working with some Canadian artists. So the future is looking bright. We have a nice, friendly, family-type atmosphere right now, and we hope to keep it that way.
Well, I'll tell you, it's easy to see about your friendly family atmosphere. Well, people probably saw it on Facebook, but I called you a couple weeks ago saying I'm going to be in Florida, and, man, you drove right around and said, hey, wherever you're at, let me know, and I'll meet you. And granted, we met in the Walgreens parking lot because we couldn't find each other for a while, but, when the connection was made, I got a chance to listen to some amazing track, some of which we're going to touch on tonight with Vernon Maytone. But I'll tell you something that you did recently that I really love, and it's that Sweet Like Sugar. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I must give Horace Martin, one of my big-time artists who has been with me from the get-go, from the beginning. Horace called me and said he wanted to cover one of Sugar's songs, so we did My Love Is True. And he said when he was leaving the studio, either the engineer or somebody said, how come they haven't even done a little showcase tribute to Sugar? And he mentioned that to me, and I said, okay, well, I can take care of that. I don't need any more encouragement to do that. So I had recorded Come On Home with Bunny Lyle and Queenie, the Empress, on the Queen of the Minstrel rhythm already. I had the M16 rhythm in-house. So I started calling some people, and the first set of people I called were Tristan Palmer, Little John, and Tony Tuff, for obvious reasons, because those are alum of youth promotion. Obviously, Tony Tuff was a part of the African Brothers with Sugar, so that was a no-brainer. So what started out as a showcase album, which is 6 rhythm and 6 vocals, blossomed over 220 tracks. People like Marius Joseph, Vivian Jones, Nina Carl, Jojo Mac, Asante, man, the list just blew up, and that'll go down as one of my most satisfying production other than the original Check for You Once album session.
All right, we're going to touch on that Tony Tuff. This is that track we talked about, Tony Tuff and the Sweet Like Sugar. I always want to call it Sweeter Than Sugar, because Sugar Man certainly was that. Listen.
Yeah, special dedication to the memory of Sugar Man. I man was kind of instrumental in the beginning of the story. Tony Tuff said that. Listen, Sugar said, I never gonna give you all, no matter what they do. I never gonna give you all, no matter what they say. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. But you can have the whole world. Give me Georgia, give me Georgia. You can have the whole wide world. Give me Georgia, give me Georgia. You can have the silver and gold. You can have the rubies and the diamonds. You can have all the pretty girls in the whole wide world. But I'm never gonna give you all.
His name is Tony Tuff. The album is called Sweet Like Sugar, produced by my guest, Mr. Trevor Elliott, also known as the musical ambassador. Trevor Elliott, here go another one. His name is Chris Montague. The track is called Mr. DC, Sweet Like Sugar Tribute LP. Listen.
Coming from the country with my bag of Cali, book up on a DC, him want fi hold me. Don't you run now, youth man, you can't get away. If you slip, you will die, and if you run, you can't hide. 'Cause I've got my clip stuck right on my head. Whoa, this is. Don't you take my action. Whoa, this is. Don't you touch my collie. Whoa,
The album is called Sweet Like Sugar. produced by the legend, Mr. Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador from out of Florida. So, Trevor, fill us in a little bit more. Let me ask you a quick question. We're going to still stay in the music, but what's going on with the music today? It seems like we're kind of slipping a little bit, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is you're putting so much energy into this. How do you feel about the direction of the music, and how do you plan to or try to change the direction of this?
Well, the music is slipping, obviously. Sales are down, and with the digital age, it's one of those catch-22 type situation where it's the immediacy of it. You can release an album, no time flat, and I don't think the quality control is what it used to be back in the days when I used to listen to Derek Harriott, Bonnie Stryker Lee, Sir Coxsone, Gussie, all those great producers who had some kind of quality control. Now everybody and their grandma have a studio. And you can't tell a man that he spent millions of dollars to put up a studio and, he can't put out a record. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to get at is that the music is kind of stagnating right now. I'm trying my best to keep up my end of the bargain, quality roots and culture, and never stop trying, because it's something that I love. I have some people that I'm working with who are very professional in their approach, and I don't want anything to come into that way or let them down in any way. But I think we don't have a leader, and Chronix is emerging as a go-to guy, so to speak, a leader in the business place, somebody who you can kind of hang your hat on a little bit. I love his direction. I love the experimentation that he's doing on his new album. Yahweh is going to have the Marleys, but I don't think a lot of those people do anything to help the fledgling artists that are coming up to kind of give something back to the industry. Once you got over the top, you just get selfish and self-centered, and try to get collaboration with R&B musicians and rappers and stuff, which isn't nothing wrong with that for you to enhance your career. But in saying that, you should really bring up your little brothers back home and kind of have little seminars and teach them how to get their music copyrighted, how to get their music published, how to do the business aspect of the music, because that is sorely lacking. What is happening now is that when an artist dies, there's not even anybody as far as an estate that you could channel funds to them. It's just so wide open, and it's the devil take the hindmost right now,
And you mentioned about quality. One of the things that I think is hurting the music myself is content. I mean, it's going in a straight-up X-rated direction. And I was sitting down with a musician a few weeks ago. He was sitting in my living room, and we were talking about a song that I want him to do for me. And I'm strictly kind of like a lover's rock kind of guy. And he did a little ad-lib in it, and he started saying, well, I don't want to take a gun and shoot somebody. And I'm sitting there saying, we can't do that. And he said, well, it's an ad-lib. And I'm like, that's for the stage, but that's not for the record. Because, I mean, think about this. If you're talking about wanting to put a gun and shoot someone, then you're going to lose certain elements of your audience. So my son or my daughter that's only 8 or 9 or 10, I won't bring it into the house for them. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when they put themselves in a little corner like that, they're actually damaging themselves, the music, and everything else that goes along with the product.
Well, you made a good point, because you have to decide what kind of marketplace are you attracting to. Like you mentioned, I can't produce a song and I'm be scared to play it in the house so that my kids can hear it. Okay? I recently did a song with the African Sledge called Inadisiawar. And when I started mixing the song, it had a little line about the Holocaust, and I said, something, that is something that's going to offend one strata of the society. So I edit that part, that reference out, and that's like a stroke of genius, because the song is a message song, and it's carrying a message about what's going on with the nuclear threat all over the world, especially down in the North Korea region of the world. And we live in one big world, man. And if we can't get together and iron out our differences, that's why I'm so upset with this president. I don't want to veer off the track and get into politics. But you can't govern the country with one sector or one strata of the society.
You definitely can't, and neither in the music. I mean, and you said it. You can't just be focused on one segment because you're gonna kill the whole process. So tell you what, I'm gonna touch on this Bunny Lai Lai and Junior Cat, another Trevor Elliott musical ambassador production. Listen.
Boy, Mr. Liner, I wanna come like a heavy load, you know, boy. I tell you like a car and draw truck. I'm gonna make them out, bro. DJ Lang, Angel 5. I can't stand it. Like them out from mad way. I can't stand it. I Bellevue this boy. It's hurting inside. All over. This feeling I gained on. Them a chat way. Ever since you've been gone. Them know we business. It's hard for me to carry on, yeah. I can't stand it. No way. I can't stand it. When the first got to the deep end, she used to be so sweet. I can't forget the first time when we just met. Always a hold on and walking down the street. It's a genuine girl to tell me that she not cheat. Me can't believe me carrying on my best friend G. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I tell you, Mr. Trevor Elliott, my guest, the musical ambassador from out of Florida, and that's another one of his track. And one thing I noticed about you, man, you pick some of the best rhythms available for your records. And what goes into you deciding what you're going to do?
Well, that goes back to my formative years. You know, I used to go in the dance hall. I used to follow Gemini. Johnny Ringo was one of my favorite DJ. I used to follow them all over the place. And I mentioned General Plow. He used to sing on a song called Creation from up Barbican, and I want to big up Mr. Staffy, the owner of that song. He used to call me one side, and there's another friend that used to work at JRS by the name of Valentine Terrell. He has a sound system. And he used to string it up down Tarrington Bridge. Any Saturday I want to drive well on there and play music till my head hurt me. So I know the Studio One sound. I knew, like the Baba Boom. And when we go to lick over a rhythm, I have a musician by the name of Damien Kesey. He lives in Santa Cruz, Jamaica. And when I send him something, like, say, the Far East, the first question him asks me is, do you want me to speed it up? Do you want the same tempo? Well, I say, we not slow down rhythm. So speed it up a little bit. Make sure you pick the bass line, because that is a staple of Studio One. If you listen to Studio One music, no fancy arrangement, but the music just sweet, and I pick the bass line. So basically, when I go to, sometimes an artist will call me and say, like Michael Spinner, I got to Jamaica last year, and I was doing a little session, and him say, look over the Far East, man. Look over the Far East. And I said, I'm tired of rhythm, that, man. I said, no, man, I have a little lyrics on it. And that has turned out to be such a blessing in disguise, because I have a Moe on it, a Blessed on it, and these are two stalwarts from the Canadian across the border. Obviously, Cousy Millers, Jojo Mac, you name it, you know what I mean? And a great, great instrumentalist, Mr. Jerry Johnson, because I grew up in the instrumental era with ska, and I know Augustus Pablo, I know Jacquemet too, and, the Scatterlights and Val Bennett and all those guys. So it's just a matter of doing my homework and just, go back in the dub basket and bring out some things that I know. I have some professional artists that can sing, that can adapt themselves to certain lyrics, and, we take it from there,
All right, well, I'll tell you what, you talk about the Far East rhythm, and we're going to touch on that. But before that, we want to say good evening to Jackie Newsom from West Philadelphia, also Wayne Super C. Campbell out of New York, They tune in, and also the Antoinette Millwood, cousin Antoinette Millwood, tune in. We're going to give you a little international vibration mix of the Far East rhythm. Here we go. Our guest is Mr. Trevor Elliott, the producer. This is Amoy, and it's called Love of a Lifetime. International Vibrations of G-Tone Radio. Take a listen to this.
You walked into the room, then everything changed. I felt a certain pull, boy, you had me there. It's that energy that makes me feel a kind of way. I can't deny, oh boy, no words for me to say. Ooh, ooh, I have to get to know you more. I need to get to know you, boy. I think I know you from another life. I see familiarity in your eyes. I have to get to know you more. I need to get to know you, boy. I think I know you from another life. I see familiarity in your eyes. Boy, can we spend some time? Stay a little while. You send a signal to my heart. Oh, boy, for you I've waited all my life. Let's sit and talk for a while. You might be the love of my life. You spoke to my soul, all my fears disappeared. Connected on a level that I never felt before. My mind, my heart, my body screamed and craved. I wanted more. I can't deny the passion of this love. I won't ignore. Ooh, ooh, I have to get to know.
Oh, na, 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 na. I just love how you make.
His name is Kuzamela.
'Cause if it wasn't love, yeah, it wouldn't come so easy. Girl, I love the way you always tease me with your love. Yeah, you know just how to please me. All I know, I'm putting my trust in you. Oh, now I could write a book about the way that you're making me feel. Oh, yeah. You found so many ways to prove that your love isn't real, yeah. Better hold you in my arms. I love the way you squeeze me, make me feel you never want to leave me. I knew that this was more than a one-night thing, yeah. You're a dream come true, and I'll stick with you forever. I'm happy as long as we're together, and I know one day you'll be wearing my ring. Believe me, if it wasn't love, yeah, it wouldn't come so easy. Girl, I love the way you always tease me with your love, yeah. You know just how to please me. All I know, I'm putting my trust in you.
His name is Kuzamela. We're interviewing Mr. Trevor Elliott, the producer. This is the Far East Rhythm Mix, done for you by me. Here we go.
Hold up, slow down, back up, step down is all she wants me to do. Can't survive in love without trust. Jah created this love for us. Hold up, slow down, back up, step down is all she wants me to do. Can't survive in love without trust. Jah created this love for us. From the first time we met, my heart skipped a beat. I pledged to you, girl, that me would never cheat. From the depths of my soul, I love you. Remember, say we married for better or worse, girl. You're not crazy, no, you're not crazy. Remember, say me jealous too, and my love not lazy. Me never in no car, I drive Miss Daisy. Your love truly amazed me. Hold up, slow down, back up, step down is all she wants me to do. Can't survive in love without trust. Jah created this love for us. Hold up, slow down, back up, step down is all she wants me to do. Can't survive.
I'm not a puppet, a toy for show. I am a woman and so much more. Watch as I turn my powers on. Yeah, yeah. Don't need no diamonds, I don't
Her name is Aisha Davis. The Far East Rhythm. Instrumental to yours. This is Mr. Jerry Johnson, and the track is called East of the River Grange. On the phone with us, we have the producer, Mr. Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador. So, Trevor, that Far East Rhythm did an amazing track, starts you off early in 2017, to the best of my recollection in that. So, where'd you go from there?
You mean as far as productions?
Yes.
Well, the next in line is we have an album with Vernon Maytones. Vernon and I started working in 2014. You know, we'd have a one rhythm project, and I send him the track, he voiced it, and I was doing an interview with One Harmony Radio with Musical Genius, and he knew about the project, and he asked me how far along are we. And I said, we're doing good. And he said, are you going to include Money Worries on that package? And I said, hadn't thought about it, but I'll ask the boss, Vernon, if he wanted to do it. Vernon said he has been approached over the years by many producers to do that again. But since we're doing this as a joint production, he doesn't have a problem with it. And the rest is history. And a spin-off of the Money Wars rhythm is a song called Jamaicans Stand Proud, which is really a nice patriotic song about ducky and saltfish and Jamaican rum and Jamaican beaches and all that stuff. So the single is out now, distributed by Sony and Orchard, and the album will be released, I would say, by November the latest. I'm working on an album with Jojo Mac, have some material with Lisa J, this beautiful yellow lady out of Spanish Town, Jamaica. I call her the De La Vegan Queen. Little stuff here and there with Tristan Palmer and Arias Martin. His album Showcase is being refreshed and rehashed, so to speak. And anybody want to get hold of my stuff, they can go on www.musicalambassador.com to find the physical products like CDs and vinyl. And as they say, as my granny used to say, mother have, father have, but happy is the child that has his own. So I'm trying to build my own organization and get the Musical Ambassador brand out there, which is getting recognition every day.
Well, I tell you, as long as the quality stay like it is, man, you're always going to get recognition because, I actually came back in this business. I left this business for 13 years. I became a cop and left the business for 13 years. And, department said it was a conflict of interest. How could you be an undercover narcotics cop of all things dealing with reggae music where everybody smokes weed? So the police department says you have to make a choice. So for 13 years I gave them, and then I came back and realized that no one is really putting the energy in. And that's why, like, when I started listening to your stuff, man, I just ran to you. There's another person you work with, Kuzi. I love his stuff. I met Kuzi in 2001 to be exact. And, I fell in love with this guy's stuff. I love his talent, love his energy, and love his humbleness. And that's one of the things I like about you, too, man. Your talent is unbelievable. Your knowledge of the music is great. And you're very humble. I call you and you answer. So I love people when some guy with no name calls you and you return my call. That's how the music is going to grow. That's how, we're going to preserve this so our kids can enjoy it. I'm fortunate enough that I have a son that's a DJ. I have a grandson that's a DJ. Actually, I have two grandsons that DJ. I have an 8-year-old grandson that DJs now. And my daughter, who is 15, and she DJs. When I'm not here, she does my show. So I make sure that they share into this. And, you know, even though their love of music is a little bit different from mine because they're into hip-hop and all that other kind of stuff, but I can sit any one of them down and they're going to play some reggae music for you. And, you know, so we have to kind of preserve that and protect it. And I'm happy to be a part of, you know, what you're doing, man. So tell you what we're going to do. We're going to touch on this Money Worries. This is your newest single, Mr. Vernon Maytone, Money Worries, musical ambassador stuff. Listen.
I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries.
Could you possibly rewind and come again?
I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry.
They're loving it, Trevor. They're loving it big time. Mr. Vernon Maytone, brand new release and musical ambassador stuff. Musical ambassador Vernon Maytone is called Money Worries and International Vibrations. Listen.
Money trouble. I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. To have a comfortable place of rest, or a nice car to drive. Anything you need these days, money's the only answer, Lord. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Everyone would like to live happy, eating and wearing the best in life, but to really do so, my friends, money's the only problem, oh Lord. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries.
Big new tune from Vernon Maytone.
Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries.
Good evening and big up, but good morning to the UK crew. Sue Oliver, unbelievable energy. Fiona, and big up to the man from One Arm in the Radio, Samuel. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's International Vibrations at G-Town Radio, gtownradio.com. Alvin Millwood, Mr. Melody, Mike Sider, is Sunday from 8 until 10. It's a brand new track from Mr. Vernon Maytone.
Happy, eating and wearing the best in life, but to really do so, my friends, money's the only problem, oh Lord. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry.
Mr. Vernon Maytone. The album is going to be released soon. The Musical Ambassador production. He's our guest tonight right here in International Vibration. The track is called Money Worries. Brand spanking new track for 2017. Trevor, as we get ready to wrap this up. So tell us a little bit more. I got a question for you. I saw something today because you've been a friend and an ally and everything with Sugar Minott. I saw something today that says Sugar Minott Museum is about to be open in 2018 in May in Jamaica. You know anything about that?
Yeah, I saw it today as well, and I got a note from Maxine Stowe, who is, obviously was Sugar's right-hand confidant and all that stuff. So I'm sure we'll be getting more about that as the weeks and months come about, and that's something that I would support 110%. And, Sugar is such an integral part of my career that I would be foolhardy not to support that 110%. No, I know we're winding down this thing, but I want to say greetings to my family. Her name is Twiggy. She lives down in South Florida, goes between Kingston and Miami. And, we have a big track called Come In.
By Twiggy, listen. Her name is Twiggy, and you're listening to International Vibrations in G-Town Radio, gtownradio.com. My name is Oliver Millwood, and on the phone we have the producer, Mr. Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador from out of Florida. And, before I even let Trevor close, I want to say thanks and big up to the folks in the UK for tuning in at this ridiculous hour, because it's probably about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning over there. So Sue Oliver and the rest of the crew. And I may have some good news for you in a couple of weeks, because you know what? I'm going to come join your airwaves over there. I'm going to give you some international vibration at your awake hour, right? I'm talking to some folks now, so I'm going to be more than likely in the UK within weeks at a decent hour, all right? So you heard it first right here at G-Town Radio, and we're going to be working on being in the UK and real soon at a decent hour. So again, thanks to you, Sue Oliver, and all the folks that's trying to make that work. Trevor, so as we close, tell us a little bit more. There's something, well, I'm going to let you do that, and then I'm going to close like I want to close for you, all right? So, Trevor, tell us what you have to tell us, how we can reach you.
Well, obviously, I'm on Facebook, and my Facebook page has turned into the Jamaican Music Community Bulletin Board, and I don't mind one bit, because if it's something edifying and educational, and I saw where Trilla U dad is gone missing, and we all belong to one fraternity. So if there's anybody that has any news that can contribute to this man being reunited with his family, I would appreciate that greatly. Obviously, my music are available on iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon.com, all the reputable download platforms. I'm working on revamping my website, which is www.musicalambassador.com, and that's where you can find material from the late Eddie Fitzroy, late Luxie Castell, because I do some work for Negus Roots as well, Arias Martin, and CDs and pardon me, and vinyl. So pardon me, it's a brand that I'm trying to maintain and trying to really establish, so people can know where to find good roots and culture and good reggae music. No slackness, nobody going, demean a woman, because I can't produce a song like Princess Black back in the day and turn around in 2017 and do something that's going to, really put the ladies to shame or anything like that. And like I said, any production that I have, I can play it in my car, let my kids hear it, I can play it in my house or my wife, and everybody can hear it, because I have nothing to hide. I just have purity in heart. I love the business. No money not in the business, but it's just the love of it. And one day, you never know, things might turn around.
I'm sure, man, things are going to turn around, because you know what? Good folks like you are putting a lot of energy in, and, a lot of good things are going to happen, and you're making really, really good music. I can do an entire show with just your stuff, so, and I play your stuff a lot. So it's a tribute to have, you as a part of my family. I want to call you family. You're part of my family, and, you support me. I can reach out to you. I can get information. And as a matter of fact, when I was doing this Natisha Stream thing, and I called you and I said, hey, I need some advice. Tell me this. And I mean, without hesitation, you shared. And then I called you another week later, and I told you about the other people I know who I called, and you said something to me that I held on to. It says the memory of folks in reggae music is very, very short. And, so I learned my lesson from that, too, that there's people who will support you no matter what, and there's people who will support you when they need something that you have. So thanks for your energy, thanks for your support, and, we look forward to more work with the Musical Ambassador and the reggae community.
Well, thank you very much, and the next time you come to Gainesville, we have some time constraint the last time, so hopefully we can plan something a little better where we can sit down and shoot the breeze and kind of compare notes to see what's going on in the industry. And I want to say a big up to the musical genius, One Arm and a Radio, Sue Oliver. These people support me 110% and get my stuff over there in the UK, because without you guys, there's no me. It's as simple as that. I can produce till the cows come home, but if I don't have an outlet for my music, it's futile. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the 45 minutes, almost going on to an hour of your time, and I appreciate it. I want to say good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon to your worldwide listeners.
And hey, man,
thank you very much, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good. And I want to thank you, and of course I want to thank Sue Oliver and the One Harmony family also too, man, because Sue really did a lot of good work for us on that Natisha Stream, and she's pulling a whole bunch of strings. So I guarantee you, when she get done tying these ends, I'm going to be in One Harmony real soon in the UK. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation today, so it's definitely in the works, and it's definitely going to happen. All right, so UK, watch out for that. We're just going to work
yeah,
a few times.
Before I go, one last thing. I want to congratulations for the wonderful job she did to coordinate the Palace Memorial CD. That it's a fundraiser, so you guys go online and purchase the Palace CD in aid of scholarship for all the kids in Jamaica. Myself, Cousy Mellors, Sue Oliver, and the great musical genius collaborated to get that project where it is. And I want to say thanks to Lady Song and Ruler Brown for their contribution as well. Good night, sir.
All right, man. Thank you very much. And also, we want to let you know that Palace fiscal year starts now for 2018. So that's a very, very good project. And that project, you want to definitely get involved with it and make your donations. You see me moving my microphone around, right? I'm probably the only DJ that don't have anyone working with me. I do everything by myself. All my buttons, all my knobs, all my music is all by me. So I have to get over to the console and turn Trevor's microphone down before he winds up telling the whole world just how much he loves them, all right? International Vibrations at G-Town Radio. Trevor didn't touch on this, but listen, this is more Trevor stuff. Listen.
Musical Ambassador presents...
Stop killing, stop shooting, stop hurting my brother. Oh yeah. Stop killing, stop shooting, stop hurting my sister. The more we are together, the happier we'll be. The more we are together, God bless you and me. Real and proper, super rapper, dapper rise. Play dapper rise, play with the great king, for them all I bring. Play baking champion songs, many people them get around. Yo, yo. Play go song, set up the song, selector, set up the song, yo, yo. Set up the song and make the people gather around. Now, set up the song, selector, set up the sound. Be rock it in a country, make a rock it in a town, yo, yo. Set up the song, selector, set up the sound, yeah, yeah. Set up the sound and make the people gather around. Now, set up the song, selector, set up the sound. Be rock it in a country, make a rock it in a town, yo. Well, big sound a play and now the people boogie down. Well, tweet that thing up and miss a place.
When making love, she's so gymnastic. Give me every style, pose and fashion. When it come to them thing, yeah, she no Russian. She got class, she got poise. I run up her mouth with no bag of nice. So cool and so calm. It's a pleasure to have her in my arms.
No, it's clear angel again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Representing Buzzwhack, the thing lock. Whoa, whoa. What? Oh, I feel run the wicked away. Oh, I feel chant that sounds a day. Oh, yes, we run the wicked away. And them pally and them thing, and I control the mind of the young innocent. We a go burn them out, yeah. We a go talk it loud and proud, yeah. Yeah. We see them from afar, them a come with them blar, and them now put them more side in a them part. We a go burn them out, yeah. We a go shout it loud and proud, yeah. Watch it.